Welcome students. In the introduction of this chapter, we have studied about right hand rule used to determine direction of the magnetic field produced due to current passing through wire. But how to find the strength of the magnetic field? The Biot-Savart law is an equation that gives the strength of magnetic field produced due to current carrying segment or element. Consider wire of arbitrary shape carrying the current in a specific direction. Take a small element of the length dl along the length of wire. The direction of this element is in the direction of current, and therefore it forms the vector I into dl. This is known as the current element. To know the magnetic field at point P at a distance r from center of element, we consider the vector r which joins the center of element to the given point P. Angle between the direction of vector dl and the vector r is theta. We can write here notations. Consider I is the current, dl is the small element, idl current element, vector r the position vector of a point P. Theta is angle between vector dl and vector r. According to experiment performed by the Biot and Savart scientists, the differential magnetic field at point P, that is vector dB, due to current element dl carrying the current I, is given by dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl sin theta divided by r square. This is equation 1, and this is the mathematical formula of Biot-Savart law in the scalar form. We are not interested in the definition of Biot-Savart law in the new syllabus. Here mu naught is permeability constant of free space. The value of the mu naught is equal to 4 pi into 10 raised to the power minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Approximately it is equal to 1.26 into 10 raised to the power minus 6 Tesla meter per ampere. To write equation 1 in vector form, multiply numerator and denominator of RHS of equation 1 by R. We can write dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi I dl into R multiplied by sin theta divided by r cube. Here the dl r sin theta in the numerator can be written in vector form, that is mu naught upon 4 pi into I into vector dl cross vector r divided by r cube. This is the vector form of the Biot-Savart law. This is equation number 2. Here the vector dl cross vector r gives the direction of magnetic field vector dB. Means we can say that vector dB is perpendicular to both vector dl and vector r, and the direction of the differential magnetic field vector dB is determined by using the right hand rule. Equation 1 and equation 2 are known as Biot-Savart law. Equation 1 is in the scalar form and equation 2 is in the vector form. The net magnetic field at point P due to current passing through entire wire can be obtained by integrating or summing the differential magnetic fields dB due to different length elements dl along the length of wire, that is the net magnetic field B is equal to integration over dB. By using the Biot-Savart law, we can find the strength of the magnetic fields produced due to the different current distributors. Let us see applications of the Biot-Savart law. First application is magnetic field due to current in straight long wire. Figure shows the long straight wire of the length L carrying the current I. We want to find out magnetic field induction at a point P. Perpendicular distance of the point P from the wire is capital R. Consider the current element IDL, that is the length of the small element of wire multiplied by current passing through it. The current element IDL is at a distance small r from the point P. Theta is the angle made by current element IDL with the vector r. By using the Biot-Savart law, magnetic field induction at point P due to current element IDL dB is equal to mu naught upon 4 pi into I into vector dl sine theta divided by r square. This is equation number 1. The direction of dB is perpendicular to both vector dl and vector r, that is into plane of paper according to right hand rule. It is shown by the sign cross. The magnitude of magnetic induction at a point P due to current elements in the upper half of infinitely long wire can be calculated by integrating equation 1 from 0 to infinity. Similarly, the magnitude of magnetic field induction produced at point P due to all current elements in the lower half of infinitely long straight wire will be same as that of the magnitude of the magnetic field produced due to current length elements in upper half of wire by the symmetry, and therefore B2 is equal to integration from 0 to infinity over dB. Now total magnetic field induction at a point P due to upper and lower half of the infinitely long straight wire will be equal to addition of the contributions 1 and 2, and therefore total magnetic field induction B at point P will be given by adding contributions one and 2. Therefore B is equal to twice integration from 0 to infinity over dB. Substituting the value of dB from equation 1, we can write B is equal to twice integration over mu naught upon 4 pi into I dl sine theta divided by r square. As the mu naught upon 4 pi and I are constant, taking outside of the integration, B is equal to twice mu naught upon 4 pi into I integration from 0 to infinity over dl sine theta divided by r square. Here 2 2s are 4 and therefore B is equal to mu naught upon 2 pi into I into integration from 0 to infinity over dl sine theta divided by r square. This is equation number 2, where from figure r square is equal to L square plus r square. Therefore, small r is equal to square root of L square plus r square. And the sine theta is equal to sine pi minus theta is equal to capital R divided by small r. Substituting both the values in equation 2, we get B is equal to mu naught upon 2 pi I into integration from 0 to infinity over dl multiplied by sine theta. Sine theta is equal to capital R divided by small r, but small r is equal to square root of L square plus capital R square multiplied by 1 by r square, but r square is again L square plus capital R square. This is equal to mu naught upon 2 pi into I into capital R, as the R is constant, multiplied by integration over dl upon L square plus R square bracket raised to 3 by 2, as the integration from 0 to infinity, that over dl upon L square plus R square bracket raised to 3 by 2, its value is 1 upon R square. We will substitute the value of this integration directly 1 upon R square here. If we will include all the steps to solve integration, the derivation will become lengthy and we will solve the integration after this derivation. Therefore, B is equal to mu naught upon 2 pi into I R multiplied by 1 upon R square. Here R and square will get cancelled. Therefore, B is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 pi R. Equation number 3. This equation gives the net magnetic field induction produced at point P due to current passing through the straight long wire. Magnitude of magnetic field induction due to semi-infinite wire, that is the half of the wire, B is equal to mu naught I divided by 4 pi R. This is equation number 4. Equation number 3 and 4 shows that the magnitude of magnetic induction is inversely proportional to perpendicular distance capital R of the point P from wire. That is, B is inversely proportional to R. To solve the integration, I is equal to integration from 0 to infinity over dl upon L square plus R square bracket raised to 3 by 2. We substitute from the figure. Tan phi is equal to L upon R. Therefore, L is equal to R tan phi. Equation number 2. Differentiating this equation, dl is equal to R sec square phi into d phi. This is equation number 3. Now, as the length is converted into angle phi, the limit of integrations, that is 0 and infinity, also changes to 0 and pi by 2. As L is equal to 0, tan phi is equal to 0, and therefore the angle phi will becomes 0. And as the L is equal to infinity, tan phi will becomes infinity, and therefore the angle phi will become pi by 2. At the length is equal to 0, angle phi will become 0. At the length is infinite, the angle phi will become pi by 2. Now substituting equation 2, 3 and the new limits in equation 1, we get I is equal to integration over dl. dl will become R sec square phi into d phi divided by L square plus R square, but L square is here, R square tan square phi plus R square bracket complete bracket raised to 3 by 2, and limits are 0 to pi by 2 is equal to integration from 0 to pi by 2, here R sec square phi into d phi divided by this R square bracket raised to 3 by 2. This will become R cube, and taking this R cube common, R cube into bracket tan square phi plus 1 bracket raised to 3 by 2. This R in a numerator and 1 R from denominator will get cancelled. There will be R square. This is equal to 1 upon R square into integration from 0 to pi by 2 sec square phi into d phi divided by tan square plus 1 can be written as sec square phi bracket raised to 3 by 2 is equal to 1 upon R square integration from 0 to pi by 2 sec square phi d phi divided by cube phi, as this square and square root, that is 1 by 2, will get cancelled, is equal to 1 upon R square into integration from 0 to pi by 2. This sec square phi at the numerator and sec square phi at the denominator will get cancelled. At the denominator there will be only sec phi into d phi is equal to 1 upon r square multiplied by integration from 0 to pi by 2 1 upon sec phi can be written as cos phi into d phi is equal to 1 upon r square. Integration of cos phi is sin phi, therefore we can write sin phi in bracket complete, lower limit is 0, upper limit is pi by 2. Substituting lower and upper limits, here I is equal to 1 upon r square sin pi by 2 minus sin 0 is equal to 1 upon r square multiplied by sin pi by 2 is 1, sin 0 is 0. This is equal to 1 upon r square multiplied by 1, and therefore the integration I is equal to 1 upon r square.